Hello, I'm Rachel from Douentza Garden in Ireland, and you're welcome to this video about crested cactuses, what can go wrong with them and what you can do to fix it. So today we're going to be dealing with the example of a particular cactus of mine, which was originally beautiful with curling stems. It looked like a brain, actually, very much a brain cactus, but something has gone wrong. The cactus is reverting and sending up stems that we don't really want. So stay with me and we'll see what to do about it. I suppose I need to start this video by explaining just a little bit what a crested cactus is. Now, we all buy these beautiful forms that look like snakes or corals or brains. They're so enticing and so exciting and very much desired by many collectors. But what is a crested cactus? Because cresting is something that can happen on a variety of different cacti or even on common garden plants. Each plant has a meristem, and that's just the apical growth point at the very top of the leaf. So imagine the prickly thing at the top of the cactus is technically a leaf. And sometimes something goes wrong there, whether it's a genetic mutation or whether it's external damage that comes about, whether it's due to wind or animal bite or just other kinds of external damage. And that triggers something in the meristem. It triggers the growth point to grow horizontally rather than vertically, and to send out little growth points all along that horizontal line. And this is what we look on as fanning in many cactuses. And as these growths continue, they can kind of fold in on themselves, creating these beautiful and desirable forms. What sometimes happens, however, is that you buy a beautiful crested cactus like this one here, and everything goes well for a while, but then it sends up some new shoots that don't look anything like the form that you bought it for in the first place. And that's what's happening with this cactus here. So it was originally crested, and you can see evidence of that down below, but it's sending up these tall shoots that show the correct original growth of the Opuntia cactus. Now, the original growth is healthier than crested growth, so it is vigorous, and eventually it will take over the plant, and the plant, hooray, will get back to being healthy and normal. But that's not what we want as a grower. We want it to maintain the crested form. Now, just a little note, if you do notice that your cactus is beginning to send up shoots that look quite different from the crested form, don't be too quick to cut them off, because it can be that it sends up the new growth, the new healthy growth, and then it crests again at the top of the stem. And that can be quite desirable and quite nice to look at itself. However, if you've got something like I have here, then it's definitely well past time to cut off these other growths that we don't want. So now let's get on with the job. It's time to cut off these growths that are extending up and spoiling the look of my cactus. And for this job, I'm going to need a sterilized secateurs, which I have here. But I also have a sterilized knife, which is sharper, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out. Might I need that rather than the secateurs? It might be a bit difficult to get in there and get to the base of these growths. And I also have some cinnamon. So this is just cinnamon from the kitchen that you use in cakes. And it's a great thing for cauterizing wounds. So it'll make the surface dry up extra quick, reducing the likelihood of bacteria and nasty things getting into the wound and infecting the cactus. Okay, time to get snipping. Right, we'll start by taking out the label, and now we're going to approach this operation with the secateurs. Now, my first attempt will be with this very long growth here, and I need to try and get it as close to the base as possible. And do as little damage as possible. I'll go in there and snip, and again. And next up we're going to remove this growth here, which seems to extend from the top of a crested growth just here. And if I don't trim close enough to where I should at my first pass, I can always go over it again at a later stage and just trim a bit closer. That is also undesirable. Let's take this off. And this one, whoa. And there we are, all done. It smells of cinnamon, very nice smell. Yeah, that was a bit of cactus decimation, and there is a chance, of course, that infection will set in and this cactus won't survive, especially considering the amount of material that has been removed from it. But it's certainly worth it to try and get my lovely crested cactus back again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. Well, actually, I hope you didn't find it useful. I hope you never come across a reverting crested cactus. But if you do, now you know what to do. Thanks for watching. Bye.